Good morning, dear students. Today, under Employee Relations and Labor Laws, we shall be discussing Workmen Compensation Act 1923. Prior to enactment of the Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, the workman suffering a personal injury caused by an accident occurring in the course of his employment, he could claim damages in a civil court under the common law. So the workman, maybe in case of his death, his dependent heirs had to file a civil suit claiming damages for the losses suffered. So the court would award damages if the claimant could prove that the accident was due to negligence of the employer or lack of proper care on his part. Uh, but with the industrialization and mechanization, when accidents became more frequent and injury to life and limbs became common, protests were raised against the callous attitude of employers, and the movement for reforms in common law started in India also. So the defenses built by the employers were sought to be demolished one by one by the enactment of various statutes in England, and the same trend was reflected in the development of this country, also with the inevitable time lag. So the enactment of Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, to a large extent, it reversed the position obtaining under the common law, where under the common law an injured workman could secure damages if he succeeded in proving his employer's negligence. But under the new enactment, payment of compensation became more or less automatic, unless the employer could succeed in proving that the injury was the result of injured's negligence, disregard of factory regulation, or of drunkenness. So, the enactment of Workmen's Compensation Act 1923 not only extinguished right to claim damages under the common law, the workman concerned can choose his remedy but cannot claim both. So, Workmen's Compensation basically was formally adopted in India in 1923, and which is the first social security legislation in India, which makes employer liable to pay compensation for personal injury caused by accident arising out of and in the course of employment. So, and the act has been amended several times since it came into force on 1st July 1924. So, basically, Workmen's Compensation Act 1923, it provides for payment of compensation to workmen and their dependents in case of injury and accident, including certain occupational diseases arising out of and in course of employment and resulting in disablement of death or death. Act applies to railway servants and persons employed in any such capacity as is specified in Schedule 2 of the Act. The Schedule 2 includes persons employed in factories, mines, plantations, mechanically propelled vehicles, construction works, and certain other hazardous occupations. So there is no wage limit for coverage of the workers under the Act. So talking about this, however, it does not, however, apply to persons serving in armed forces and works covered by the employees and workers covered by the Employees State Insurance Act 1940. That means employees or workers who are covered under Employees State Insurance Act cannot claim compensation. And the amount of compensation to be paid, it depends on the nature of injury and the average monthly wages and age of the workman. So, in case of minimum amount of compensation, which is fixed, uh, is 1,20,000, whereas it is 1,40,000 in case of permanent total disablement. That means in case of death, it is 1,20,000, and in case of disablement, it is 1,40,000. And the maximum amount of compensation payable is rupees 4.56 lakh in case of death and rupees 5.48 lakh in case of permanent total disablement. So under the maximum compensation limit, the monthly wage limit, if you want to, for the calculation purpose, The monthly wage limit of rupees 8,000 has been increased to 15,000, which was primarily before January 20. And these enhanced rates of compensation, they have come into force with effect from January 2020. So a social security division has been set up under the Ministry of Labor and Employment, which deals with framing of social security policy for the workers and implementation of the various social security schemes. It is also responsible for enforcing this act. So the act is administered by the state governments through Commissioner of Workers and Compensation. Basically, now there are certain main provisions which deals with this act, and they are that there are certain say under certain scenario, employee is employer is liable to pay compensation, and under certain scenario he is not liable to pay the compensation. So if personal injury is caused to a workman by accident arising out of and in the course of his employment, that means an employer is liable to pay compensation if personal injury is caused to a workman by accident arising out of and in course of employment. And second is if a workman employed in any employment contracts any disease specified in the Act as an occupational disease peculiar to that employment. However, like if a person is working and uh, employer is not liable to pay compensation under the following cases. So, under these particular cases, an employer is not liable to pay compensation. What are those things? It is what are those cases or circumstances? If the injury does not result in the total or partial disablement of workmen for a period exceeding 3 days, that means if a person uh, is he is injured and that injury is not letting him to work for more than 3 days, so in that case compensation is not liable. If the injury not resulting in death or or total disablement caused by an accident which is directly attributed to, that means if it is caused by the accident which is directly attributed to the workman having been at the time of accident under the influence of drink or drugs, or willful disobedience of workmen to an order. So in that case also, um, the willful, if there is willful disobedience of the workman to an order expressly given or to a rule expressly framed for the purpose of securing the safety of workmen, or if there is the willful removal of or disregard by the workman of any safety guard or any other device which has been provided by the for the purpose of securing safety for the workman. So under these conditions, a person an employer is not liable to pay the compensation. So there are another two terms when we talk about compensation. One is arising out of, and second is in the course of. So terms arising out of and in the course of employment have proved to be most controversial in determining claims for compensation for work injuries. So when we talk about arising in the course of employment, uh, it relates mainly to those circumstances where the interruption in the course of employment, for example, power failure, or the gap between the arrival time and the schedule time for the commencement of work, as also between the departure time and the schedule time for ending work, and the time spent in traveling to and from work. So, all under these courses, under these all conditions, if a person is meeting any accident or is getting injured, so that means under this condition, so there would be compensation paid to the employee. Then arising out of employment. Now, an accident, if it arises out of employment, if it occurs by reason of the nature or condition or obligation of employment, or by reason of anything which is necessarily incidental to the employment. So in that case, for example, if an employee does something different from the work actually assigned to him, which he is not, he was not supposed to do, so this is commonly known as performing arrogated duties. However, the accident is said to arise out of the employment if he does another person's work on the orders of a superior whose orders he is required to obey. That means if he is supposed to do any work which in the normal course of action he is not doing, but because of his superiors, under the orders of the superior, he is doing it, and during that particular say operation he meets with an accident or gets injured, then again he will be liable to for compensation. Then if the employee indulges in rashness as distinct from merely carelessness, then, if employee meets an accident from a danger which he shares in common with persons not in the employment, for instance, maybe injury by lighting, frostbite, and so on, unless he is exposed to danger by the nature of employment. So, if the and for example, if the employee is injured on being assaulted while he is at work, or if he sustains an injury at a place where his employment does not require his presence, again, so all these terms and conditions would be, under the arising out of employment. Then we have there are more conditions, that is compensation shall be paid as soon as it falls due. When we talk about like when it falls due, so in case where the employer does not accept the liability for compensation to the extent claimed, he shall be bound to make provisional payment based on the extent of liability which he accepts, and such payment has to be deposited with the commissioner or made to the workman as the case may be. Then state government, again by notification in social gazette, may appoint any person to be a commissioner for workmen's compensation for such area as may be specified in the notification. So any commissioner may, for the purpose of deciding any matter which is referred to him for decision under this act, he can choose one or more person possessing special knowledge of any matter relevant to the matter under inquiry to assist him in holding the inquiry. Then, whoever fails to maintain a notice book, which employer is required to maintain, or fails to send to the commissioner a statement which he is required to send, or fails to send a report which he is required to send, even or if he fails to make a return which he is required to make, shall be punishable with fine. So all these are the main provisions of the act. Under this act, we need to um, say have these provisions. Now, question arises that how to calculate compensation. So we have a specific formula in case of death and in case of total disablement. So if a person he dies during the course of his employment, then there is a formula that is in case of death, the amount of compensation um, is 50% of the monthly wages of the deceased employed and multiplied by the relevant factor, or 1,20,000, whichever is more. Now, this relevant factor, this is a pre-decided factor, and we have to now how to read this relevant factor. We'll be discussing it. First of all, let us have a look at in case of total disablement. So if this is in case of death, 50% of monthly wages multiplied by relevant factor. Then in case of total disablement, it is 60% of monthly wages multiplied by relevant factor, or 1,40,000, whichever is more. Right. So just to have a more in-depth understanding about how to calculate compensation, first of all, let us have a look over the relevant factor. Now, this is the chart which depicts the relevant factor. So, under this is the completed years of age on the last birthday, and these are the relevant factors given under this. So, this age is starting from 16 years and 65 or more, and against the age is given the factor, right? For example, let us suppose if the calculated age of a person comes around to be, let us suppose, 20 years and 5 months. So we are going to ignore the number of months and take the whole, the completed year. So 20. So 20 against 20, it is 224.00. So this factor we are going to multiply it with the either 50% if it is in case of death, and 60% if it is in case of disablement. Now, coming back to this example, let us see this example. Now, the act where a workman aged 35 years meets with an accident, as a result of which he meets with permanent total disablement. His wage at the time of accident was 5,500 per month. What will be the compensation payable to him? So, under this, the age has been given, that means 35 years. So, what we shall be doing, 50% of 5,500 multiplied by, now against 35, it is 197.06. So, herein we are going to multiply that thing with this, and accordingly we'll be getting the total compensation which will be payable to him. Now we have the second example. An employee born on 14th July 1965, drawing a monthly wage of rupees 3,000, meets with an accident while working on a machine and dies on 12th March 2000. Calculate the amount of compensation. So in this case, date of birth is 14th July 1965 and date of death is 12th March 2000. So complete age at the time of death is 34 years and 8 months. So 8 months we are not going to be, we won't be considering. So 34 years. So salary at the time of death was 3,000. Relevant factor corresponding to 34 is, if you see this, 34 is 199.40. So therefore, compensation is 50% because he has died. If it would be if it would have been partial disablement, then it would have been sorry. If it would have been permanent disablement, then the calculation would have been 60% of wages. So here since he has died, so it would be 50% of 3,000 into the relevant factor, which comes out to be 2,99,100. Hence, employee will get 2,99,100. And the employer is required to pay compensation um, as soon as it falls due. So, this is how we calculate compensation in case of permanent disablement and death. This was all about compensation. Thank you.